This is Jonathan Agioff here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by soon-to-be debutant on Saturday night, Joshua Frankham. Josh, how's it going?
Yeah, all good, thank you, mate. All good. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to seeing your debut on Saturday night. I think quite a lot of people are. I spoke to John Rawling on yesterday, and he's heard good things from you. For those that don't know, four-time national champion. You're going into the super welterweight division. First of all, just talk to me a bit about how you got into boxing. I know the Frankhams are a bit of a fighting family.
I was a bit of a chubby kid, to be honest. I was quite fat. So I got in the gym when I was about 10, 11, and then started boxing. I think I had my first fight when I was 12. So I'm thankful for boxing. Otherwise, I probably would have been quite big right now.
So 12 years old, you had your first fight. And then what happened from there? Because I know, as I mentioned, quite a decent amateur background as well.
I wasn't the best schoolboy, to be honest. Probably, I done all right, but not the best. Then I had a year off when I was 14. Come back when I was 15. Got to a junior ABA final with like 10 fights. Got beat in the final, and then ever since then, I got to every final there was until I was 18, including ABAs and NABCs. So I've done all right.
Have you faced anyone in the amateurs that are currently sort of early on in their careers as a pro that you can see fights happening down the line?
Who have I faced in the amateurs who's pro now? Boxed Michael Hennessy. He was a good amateur. I boxed a fellow called Jay Munn. I know he's a pro now. He's from Wales. I think he's under Gary Lockett. Owen Cooper, he's a good little pro now. I think he's 3-0. There's probably a couple more. I know probably the best guy I ever boxed was Mark Dickinson. I had 2 fights with him. He's on the GB squad now. I think he'll probably be turning over in a few years. So there's some good opponents there, yeah.
So were you part of...
James Hawley. James Hawley, that's a fellow I also boxed as an amateur. I think he's with MTK. So, yeah, there's a few potential fights down the line.
Were you part of the GB setup at all?
No, I got my GB assessment, but I never did go for it. I ended up just having a bit of time off from boxing.
Why now turning pro? Why did you make the decision to turn pro at the moment?
I think it's the perfect time. Oh, wait there. Am I back? Right, I think it's the perfect time. I'm only young, so I've got plenty of time ahead. I don't want to rush nothing. So, perfect timing now.
Now, you signed with Frank Warren. For those that don't know, you're obviously cousins with Tyson Fury. Are you first cousins with him, or?
Nah, to be honest, it's more like, listen, if you date back with all travellers, we're probably all related somewhere along the line. I'm more of a mate, to be honest, but travellers, cousin. So I'm more of mates, so not really close, no.
Well, I've heard that Tyson recommended you personally to Frank Warren. That's what I've been told. Just talk to me about how this all came about, signing with Frank Warren.
I've been on and off with Tyson for a couple of camps, and he always knew I was going to turn pro. Well, I always used to say to him, that's what I want to do. I want to turn professional. And then when it come to it, he gave Frank a little text from me and just said, like, look after him, which I'm forever thankful for. So I can't thank Tyson enough for that.
You're obviously out there in Vegas. I've seen some of your Instagrams, which we'll get into in a minute. But just talk to me about what that experience was like out in Vegas just before your 21st birthday, unfortunately.
Unbelievable. Even just it's an amazing place. I've been twice now. I was there for the Schwartz fight, and I was there for the Wilder fight, obviously, and it's an amazing place. And the next day, like getting my hands on his belts, that was even better.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty mad to think that you've sort of experienced that even before turning professional. Just seeing, has Tyson given you any advice ahead of your professional debut?
Not really. Just said enjoy it. I know that you just enjoy it. You only get one debut, don't you? So just go out there and enjoy it. I'm expecting a hard fight though, to be honest, because I've got one of the toughest journeymen in England at the minute. Kev McCauley. It'd be quite tough. So I'm expecting a hard fight Saturday night.
What is your style for those that haven't seen you and tuning in on Saturday night?
I used to be a come forward pressure fighter, literally just pressure, pressure, pressure. Fitness and strength used to win me fights, but I've sort of tried to slow that down now and be more of a boxer. So a little bit of both, I suppose. Pressure, boxing, see a little bit of both.
Bit of Tyson in you.
Don't know about that one. Don't know if I'm as good as that, but try to anyway.
Just going back to sort of your Instagrams, I had a quick look. It's quite interesting. You've done you in Vegas. I think it looked like you in the Mayweather gym. Did you do any training out there?
No, I never got to train in the Mayweather gym. We just went down there like just for the day, just to have a look at it because I've never been before. But I've done a run with Manny Pacquiao, which was up there. That's one of the best things I've ever done.
How did that happen?
It was after the Schwartz fight, and we ended up in LA for about 3 days, 4 days. Went down to his gym at the wild card. I only literally got to meet him for about 2 minutes, and lady from his team was there. She was like, "Are you boxers?" Yeah, and obviously we said yeah. She said, "Why don't you come running with him tomorrow? He's running in, I think it's Griffith Park, which is just below like the Hollywood sign, below the Hollywood Hills." And went there 7:30, pouring down the rain, but it was unbelievable experience. Up through the Hollywood Hills, running with Manny Pacquiao. You can't get no better than that.
That's crazy. So that was pretty much completely out of the blue. You weren't expecting.
Literally just from the day before going to his gym to the next day running with him, and then after we went back to his house, and he was a lovely fella. Signed all our like gloves for us, our shirts, just lovely fella.
How many miles did you run?
I think I still don't know to this day, but I think it was around 6-7 miles.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I said to my cousin, I said, if we are literally dying at the end of this run, we have to finish with him. We have to. So we ended up finishing just behind him. So I was pleased.
Did you speak to him after when you're at his house?
Yeah, we had a few words with him. Lovely fella. He was. He couldn't do enough, to be honest. Enough photos and pictures, and he was a lovely fella.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Yeah, so debut on Saturday night. Great opportunity. You just signed with Frank Warren as well. What do you make of fighting on the Anthony Ardek Spellman bill? You probably didn't expect to fight behind closed doors in your first fight.
No, I wasn't expecting the behind the closed doors. To be honest, I didn't expect to box at all this year. I didn't think no boxing would go on, so I'm pleased to be in there. Anthony Yard, great undercard to be under, great fighter himself. There's a few good fights on Saturday night, to be honest. Denzel Bentley and Mark Heffron, that'd be a good fight. There's a few good fights, so I'm looking forward to that as well since I was a little boy. So I'm pleased, very pleased.
Have you spoken to Frank about how quickly you're going to be sort of moved along, or just get the debut out there and just see?
I've got to focus on Saturday night first. Get the job done there, and then we'll see. I don't want to rush things. I just want to take my time and climb up the ladder. I'm only young. I've got plenty of time. So, but get rid of Saturday night, and then we'll look on from there.
You said you're from sort of a traveller's background. Obviously, the standout names, obviously Tyson and Billy Joe Saunders, but there's so many brilliant boxers from sort of a travelling background, especially in the UK right now. How do you think sort of there are so many that are so talented? Where does this all sort of start?
I think if you're a travelling boy, I think boxing's spread into you from when you're little. I suppose it's always get the gloves on, get him in the gym. You know, if you're not boxing, there's some sort of sport you're doing, football, boxing. So 99% of young travelling boys when they're little get the gloves in at one point in their life. So listen, we've got a lot of good travellers coming through at the minute. Josh Frankham, my cousin, Dennis McCann, Hopey Price, Willie Hutchinson, Isaac Lowe. The list goes on and on. John Doherty, Nathan Gorman. It can go on and on. And I think travellers is now, well, Billy Joe and Tyson led the way. So they paved the way for travellers to stay on, turn pro, and have a good crack at it. So, yes, exciting times for a lot of travelling boxers.
Well, brilliant. Well, Josh, appreciate your time coming on here. Just final message to the fans who are going to watch you on Saturday night. What can they expect?
Tune in Saturday night. Hopefully see a standout boxing performance. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Tune in.
And what's your social media handles?
J_Frankham Instagram, Josh Frankham Facebook, and Josh Frankham 1 on Twitter.
Brilliant. Well, Josh, cheers for coming on. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you on this big card, and hopefully we'll catch up after. All right.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.